Under the Companies Act 1956, as embedded up to date, a company may have two classes of share. So now we are going to see what are the different kinds of share. They are, first one is preference share, second one is equity share, and the third one is shares with differential rights. So let us first start with preferential shares. So a preference share is one which enjoys certain preferential rights. First on, the preference share has a fixed dividend, is guaranteed before any payment of dividend is made in respect of equity share. And the second preference is enjoyed by the preference shares is in respect of return of capital in the event of winding up of the company. Now we'll move on to the types of preference share. There are 5 types of preference share. The first one is the redeemable preference shares. So first, what is redeemable preference shares? So money on these shares can be refunded on the expiry of a specified period if the company does not require funds or at the option of the company. So the second one is cumulative preference shares. This preference shareholders are paid dividend at a fixed rate, but when the dividends go on accumulating, in case the dividend is not paid, the preference shares are said to be accumulative. The non-cumulative preference shares, that's just the opposite of cumulative preference shares, where the shares in respect of which the dividends do not accumulate are called as non-cumulative preference shares. The next one is participative preference shares. So here, the articles of association may contain the provision, so that is, that after the dividend has been paid on the equity shares at a specified rate, the holders of the preference shares will have the right to participate in the remaining profits in addition to the ordinary preference dividend. So that is participating preference share, an extra of what they have already given. The next one is guaranteed preference shares. This is where the dividends at fixed rate is guaranteed to such shareholders irrespective of the fact whether the company has earned any profit or not. So that's called guaranteed preference shares. The second set is the equity shares. So equity shares you already know, but let me just tell you the basic meaning of it. So the equity shares are those which carry no special rights in respect of annual dividend and return of capital after the company goes into liquidation. The rate of dividend on such shares is not fixed. So the dividend on equity shares is paid out of the residual profits which is left after paying interest on debentures and dividends and preference share. Their value in the stock exchange fluctuates on the basis of the rate of dividend declared. So these equity shareholders are paid back at the time of winding up of the company after all debtors and the preference shareholders have been paid in full and not at any time during its working life. And the third one is shares with differential rights. So shares with differential rights is where first one is deferred shares. So deferred shares, what is deferred shares? It is actually known as the founder's share or the management share. They are issued to the promoters and their friends at the time of formation of the company. Here, according to Companies Act 1956, they have prohibited the issue of the different shares, where they have also told that the different shares are only issued for the private limited and not for the public limited or public subsidiaries or the deemed to be public limited. The next one is the stock. So what do you understand by stock? So basically, Stock means the share of a company in a different form. In fact, stock is the aggregate of fully paid up shares consolidated and divided into parts. So there are certain distinction given between stock and share. You can go through from your textbooks. The next one is the statutory books. So what is basically that means? A company is required to maintain a proper book of accounts and also other books where proper information about the company will be kept recorded for reference. So the main statutory books are Register of Charges, Register of Debenture Holders, Index of Members when it exceeds 50, Minutes of Books, and Contract entered by the directors. You can go through what is a book of accounts in the textbook.